Hey guys, if you hear some cattle hollering in the background, we got some bull racks over there. So now this load I wanted to cover before I went and delivered it. I took a load from El Paso up to Kalispell, multi-drop RV load, just big yellow Can-Am boxes full of RVs, and it was pretty straightforward. So that's but when you run into something like this, it's a little bit different. It's could be a little bit. It's all used equipment. It's job site stuff for oil and gas exploration. So they order a truck for X amount of space and they fill it. So they do the best they can. It could be upwards of 45,000. I don't have but half that. So but I wanted to cover what's going on, and I'm going to probably pause it multiple times and I'll splice it all together, because I'm going to try and climb up here and show you some of this stuff. It's worth it. I've moved my stuff on the lower deck because before I had the Can-Am load, and the box actually did come all the way over to about right here. So I had a really long RV. So these crates were pretty cool. I liked it. The banding and everything that they did on these generators up top was really super tight. I was worried about these lids, so the guys came up with some leg pads for heavy equipment, to sit down in soft dirt and stuff like that for, when they put the outriggers out. So they stacked those up there and they banded everything together with steel bands. I like that, because those lids, they're, one bounce and that lid's going to go flying off. It's, even if I've got it strapped or whatever, I just really would rather have it just tight and squared away. So I wasn't going to worry about it. This one here, this generator, you just can't put straps over the top. And they said that at the shipper. They said, please. I said, okay, no problem. We'll do the chain deal. So I got to pull both directions. It hasn't moved. I've got the chain wrapped in around it as best I can, because it's really low. It's hard to feed a chain around and get it in knots. So I found a way to do it, and it stayed right there. It's not a very big run as far as that goes, but the thing is, it was waiting on me like a week ahead. I said, I'll just stay under it if you guys need me to get this thing loaded and get it down there. So now this, there's a lot of business and stuff. Like this little panel finally did flop open. I'll probably go up there and do it. It's been doing fine, but they laid these drill pipe pieces in here long ways, put the forks in, set it down in. And I came up with an X fashion with the straps. So, because the banding will help keep everything kind of tight, but as I travel, stuff like that loosens up. So I made sure there was some kind of wrap was pulling it together. The pipe wasn't this way, which would have been, kind of nice, but it worked out. On this particular setup, it's just wacky. I mean, it looks like crap, but I tell you what, it was just pieces, parts. They've got tubing up top. It is banded. I asked them to please attach it with banding, and they took the time with the banding machine, and it was all good. They had lifting eyes on this beam, so I ran my chain through there, and I'm pulling this way, and then I've got one kind of pulling back a little bit this way too, but just happened to put a strap over it and under. I use a 2-inch and 3-inch ratchets. You can move these with one hand. They're that light, but it's mostly just bulky. They got to get them there, and they said no problem, you can run straps over it. So there's all kinds of business going on here. A piece of this that came off. This pin will not come out. There's a piece inside that's attached to the pin that flips, and they couldn't even get it through there very easily without the thing flipping. They had to fiddle with it to get it through the hole. Well, it bounced out, but the thing flipped, and it's locked in there. You can't move it. So I have no problem with that. Now this was added extra stuff. Drilling, like a regular drill, and pieces, parts. So now you notice they did band it. I asked them You know, whenever you put anything like that in, try and throw some steel bands on there, and they're good to go. I've got a chain running over the top that helps kind of keep everything squared away, and it's kind of weird. But now here's another one. Look, here's another pieces part. All this little PVC tubing, they actually fed it through the base of the tub, so that covers it from that way. It's not going anywhere. I fed a 2-inch strap and did a wrap and pulled straight across, and I fed the extras in over here because this end was wanting to plop out, so I just took it and I just used the extra strapping to make a support there to keep it inside the trailer. It's not going to go anywhere. So I've been on some pretty nasty roads, a lot of construction. They're finishing interstate construction as fast as they can because winter's approaching and they want to get it done before, you know, everything hits the fan. So when we look on this side, you can see everything is run right through. At first I ran the strap up over and I thought, nah, it's just not going to work. So I actually was climbing up there and feeding everything together. So as you can see, it's kind of interesting. I've been taking my time. I haven't been running full shifts. I've been running 7-8 hours. I've had from Wednesday to Monday. It didn't matter. Plenty of time. No hurries, no worries, and it's a regular appointment for having equipment there. I may not pause, I may just climb up. There we go. My hand on there, that works. Now, as you can see, everything has stayed in there really nice. They've got strap over the top. This beam did move a little bit, but it's this one here is just drum tight. You can make a sound with it when you're just tapping it. So that's what I'll make sure is perimeter is safe. You got all the stuff that's in there. It's clamped down and it's secure. I got lots of hold here to walk down the side, or I wouldn't be doing that holding the camera, trust me. I can hold the camera with 2 fingers. So at least you can see in here, I ran the strap right down the pallet. You can see the banding. Okay, so you're not touching any fuel tanks. I mean, they already squished the crap out of them with the banding, but it's their stuff. If they did it, that's their deal. If I did it, they'd be squawking. And right over the top, you can see everything is trapped. Of course, this big piece of equipment, this generator, is going to trap it too. And it's used. They need to keep their stuff in good shape. We'll make sure it gets there. You know, it's not brand new equipment, but you know, it's not going to be damaged either. That's the best we can do. Looking from the top, as you can see, I'll actually step up on it. You see what I was dealing with. Kind of interesting having to deal with making sure this chain, it did cover that one piece a little bit, but there's, you know, at least, I really wanted to have different configuration, but they put that banding on so tight, and I was checking this thing constantly to make sure it would be okay. But there was really nowhere for me to put stuff. It was quite at a severe angle to try and get through to get a press down on something. It's one of those things, they call you and they start throwing stuff on there going, what the heck? Well, this is what it is. But I got chains through there. I got at least, you know, the 3-inch strap is holding it. And like I said, these are, you can move them around with one hand. They're not very heavy. This one happens to have, you know, each piece of these tanks has 2 pieces of securement through them or over them. So that was my goal. And then you can get a good idea from a distance, the cross strap. And it's worked well, because these bandings were a lot wider and of course heavier rating. It was good to go. Now I did make sure that this sucker was super tight, well connected, and pinned. So there's no way that it's going to come out of there. It's squared away in this particular deal. They did not use the lifting eye. They put it in by fork truck, and it wasn't that heavy. So, you know, they said $7,000 for this one. $2,130 was marked on the side of the beam. You know, so that's only 9,000 pounds. This is probably an extra 1,200. I don't know, roughly. You know, and I'm lucky if I got 18,000 pounds on here. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to get this one shot for you guys that ever get stuck doing one of these pieces parts. And I won't say get stuck because I chose it, but all they said, I asked for a description of the freight, and they said drilling equipment. That's all they say. So when you show up, like, okay, well, just fill me up. Now I'm going to take and do a re-grab on this one. It has constantly just changed just enough to where it would just slightly loose, and I'll do another grab. I have one more jaunt. I'm already in Iowa, and I have to go towards Dubuque area, and I'm done till tomorrow. So I only got a couple hundred miles of driving, and this is Highway 20, so it's a good highway. There's a lot of one single lane, you know, where it's just two-way head-on traffic for, you know, 50, 60 miles, I forget. And then it goes to 4-lane like interstate. So this truck stop was pretty good and had a lot of room. I didn't have any worries. I didn't even want to worry about my 30-minute break, a stupid break. And I just went ahead and jumped in early and shut her down. So that's it, guys, and I hope you enjoy this one. It gives you an insight of the kind of stuff we do on occasion. And there's every skill can be put to the test, just about, for chaining, strapping, getting you know, inventive, and that's the hot ticket. So see you on the road. I missed the first one. The guy who just freaked out when he went down that hill. This head back in RGN up to a step deck, and they're going to get these track vehicles off. That first step, right? Everybody's having fun with this. I wish I'd have got the first one.
Yeah. But the grin on his face when he first was like,
yeah. Well, that's how you do that.
yeah.